Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. You join us for our new season of the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. My name's Ryan Walker, and alongside me is Andrew Woodhouse in the commentary booth with Samula Kuma in the cameras. And yeah, Woody, it's good to have you back.
Yes, mate, it's good to be here. Good to be with you. Tsukuba Circuit is the site today, and one that I'm very, very looking forward to. Should provide some good racing on this short track. Overtaking is going to be tough, and these 18 drivers who are on the grid for the first race, well, they're going to find it have their work cut out for them. Just to take you through the grid very quickly, Alex Rivette is going to be on pole position with Edward May in second, Mikey Key in third, fourth is Mick Barry, fifth is Carl Hardy, then Anthony Ainsworth in sixth, seventh for Carl Jacquelet, eighth for Jez Banks, Graham Sesford in ninth, James Eagleston in 10th, Martin Sampson in 11th, David Ayres in 12th, and 13th is Dan Blake, 14th is Craig Jones, 15th for John Moore, Andy Maxwell is 16th, 17th is Dale Bennison, and Edward Raprager is in 18th place.
Yep, there's this bit. Oh, sorry, with it.
I'm just going to say, with a few seconds to go, who's your money on?
I'm not sure, to be honest. There were so many quick drivers last season, Andrew. Watching them a few times last season, I would keep your eyes on Alex Rivette, but also keep an eye on the likes of the Result Clothing guys like Mikey Key and Mick Barry, and also Carl Hardy. So yeah, a few people to keep a lookout for.
Here we go then. About 5 seconds until the red lights come on. What are we going to see here? Can Alex Rivette keep the lead? It's a short run into turn one. Are we hoping he can maintain that pole position? Here we go. Ready for the start. Revs are rising. Red lights are coming on. The green light is on and we're away. Good start by Rivette. Decent start as well from the second row by Mikey Key. It's already taken Edward May, but May trying to fight back into turn one. Cold tyres for some of these drivers, struggling through turn one. It's a very tight corner, that. And now through this sweeping section and into the left-hand 180-degree corner in the middle of the lap, Ryan. It looks like everybody's so far. Oh, he's okay. I think we can still say that.
Yeah, I was about to say, you just about jinxed it, Woody. Everyone's as far as I can see it, everyone's made it through lap one clean so far. But yeah, as we've seen from Carl Jacquelet, he just about spun it, but managed to hold it very well.
A couple of drivers going slowly a bit further back. Dan Blake ended up starting from the pit lane. Unsurprisingly, set the fastest second sector unimpeded. Graham Sesford on the inside, and he's just lost place to Craig Jones. Jones in the Result clothing car, already up 4 places as Rivette leads the way by half a second over Edward May. It's fast and furious, this one, Ryan. We're going to get a lot of laps in these 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking back up at the front of Alex Rivette, yeah, it's Tsukuba. It's not, when you think about it, it's not a long track. In reality, it's quite short.
Oh, hello! Oh. Now that was the 42, Carl Jacquelet, again struggling with the rear end. Same corner, Ryan, I believe.
Yeah, I was just looking at Carl Jacquelet as well, and he just about got sideways and just about bent it again as well, but he managed to hold it well. So yeah, but unfortunately it's allowed Jez Banks to catch up to the back of him, and also behind Banks is his teammate Eaglestone. So yeah, Carl Jacquelet under attack from the two Fury Simsport cars.
Been the only car that's been sort of ditched off the back of this group is John Moore. Wonder if he just had a bit of an issue on the first lap. Not exactly sure, as Rivette sets the fastest lap, 102.131. Still just 7/10 of a second lead over Edward May, but here's Martin Sampson getting passed by car 5. That is Andy Maxwell, who started in 16th place. He's already up to 13th. Dan Blake sets the fastest lap now, 101.97. As you can hear, something going on in front. Might have been some minor contact. Yeah, I think it was in this close battle, potentially for 11th place.
Yeah, could have been possibly, as we're looking at Graham Sesford, who was under attack from David Ayres from Result Clothing, as yeah, just having a look through the field to see if anything's happening, and it looks like everyone's settled down and is getting into the groove, and At the moment, yeah, your leader is Alex Rivet with May in second and Key rounding at the top three.
Still looking at Graham Sesford then. It's a couple of drivers just running a bit wide. There was a big runoff area there to begin with. But now Rivet has been caught a little bit by Edward May. As just having a quick look there. As the lead is down to 0.3 of a second. Off goes... it was a white car, and just there it's Mick Barry. Just gone slightly wide. Really suffered a bit.
Absolutely.
And he's lost a bit of ground to Michael Key.
Yeah, absolutely. As I have to say, it's good to see Mick Barry back on track for the new season as well after unfortunately suffering some health issues as well. But what's nice to hear. But it's good to see Mick back on track, and he's also doing a good job up there in P4.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who suffered health issues in the last 6 months, I know what that's like, and you know, good to see Mick back and presumably in full health. Let's see if he can get on that podium as well. He won't do though if he keeps going off like he was, but I'm sure he'll be able to get his head down, keep going. Rivet, May, Key. See top three. Oh, a bit deep there is car 11. That's James Eagleston in the privateer entry, 8th place. Started in 10th, worked his way up. Dan Blake's made his first position of the race as well from overtaking John Moore. Martin Sampson, it says, has crashed, Ryan, and there's the evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're just looking at a replay now of Martin Sampson, and just looking to see what happened. I wonder if it might have been a mistake for this fast right hander. He might have just took too much curb and he just got sighted.
Yeah, he was coming up behind Dale Benison, and we are in Japan, but it's not the D1 Cup, and the Mazda won't stay at that angle for very long, as he found out. But he does. He is back on the tail of the pack, so fair bit of damage done to his race, but still in it, and that's important. Gonna finish the races. Michael Key right on the back of Edward May, and he set the fastest sector 1 of the race so far on this lap, so he's really pushing hard, and it looks like his car's really planted to the ground, Ryan, compared to some of the others.
Yeah, I'm just watching Mikey Key at the moment. His car just looks much more stable on corner entry and corner exit. It just looks as if he can place the car wherever he wants and get back in the power whenever he wants, and he just seems to have loads of traction on the corner entry, so it might be something to do. He might have changed something like cambers, or maybe...
Well, I was just going to agree with you, but I was going to say that he forced May to go defensive, but look at this scrap for P6, P5, Carl Hardy, Carl Jacquelet, and it looks like Jacquelet might have got a tap from Jez Banks in car 2.
Yep,
and Banks coming under pressure from Eagleston.
Yeah, excuse me, I was just about to say, Banks is coming under attack from Eaglestone, who I believe is part of Fury Sim Sport as well. So yeah, he's under attack from his own teammate, but behind Eaglestone is Ainsworth and Jones. So yeah, a bit of a pack behind these. I thought Ainsworth was going to have a go there. There's a big pack starting to form.
He just couldn't quite get the traction he wanted out of the hairpin to make a move into the final corner. It's possible to get a move done into turn 12, but it's not easy, just simply because it's a fast corner entry. As wide, very, very wide goes Jez Banks through the gravel. Lap time's beginning to fall off a tiny bit, Ryan, as the tyres getting a bit old on these MX5s now.
Yeah, that's the thing with this MX5 as well. MX5 with I think it was a couple last season or a couple of seasons ago. I heard a bit of contact.
Oh, there's some more, and again Jacquelet sideways, but this time not of his own doing. Jez Banks deciding that he was going to get a bit forceful Jacqueline did run wide at the previous corner though, Ryan, so yeah, the door was open for Banks, and it's only fair on a track like this where you can't overtake that he had a look, but Anthony Ainsworth and James Eagleston getting very, very close for comfort to each other.
Yeah, these Fury Sunsport cars and Year 1 racing cars are getting a bit close to each other. It's getting a bit, as I like to say, a bit close and personal.
That's it. We'll see if it carries on being personal. Could do, depending on how many times they crash into each other, right? To be honest, as here comes Ainsworth, he had a little look on the inside, but he just was, I think he was more hoping for a mistake by Eagleston, and it didn't come, so he's got to settle in that 9th place. But great battling up and down the field, we have to say, this BSR MX5 Monday Cup race 1 of 3 tonight, all live on Apex Racing TV.
Absolutely, as I was about to follow up as well. Also, if you want to keep up to date on social media with Apex Racing TV, you can subscribe. Say that again. Subscribe to Apex Racing TV on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Also, give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, and also give us a follow. Give us a follow on Instagram, and also check out the Apex Racing TV website at apexracingtv.com.
Don't forget as well, if you are on YouTube, put that notification bell on, because that will let you know when we upload our videos. You can see our videos first when they go live, and because YouTube doesn't always put them in your subs box, so make sure that you do that, and like I say, be the first to see all the action from Apex Racing TV. And here then is a big train of cars. Hardy, Jacqueline, Banks, Eagleston, Ainsworth, now joined by Craig Jones, then Cessford, then David Ayres. 10 cars nearly in this battle. I think it might be. What is it? That's 8 cars, isn't it? I can't count, but there is, it's a few.
Yeah, I was just about to say there's a pack starting to form behind Mick Barry, and yeah, it seems to be possibly Mick Barry and also his teammate, possibly Carl Hardy in 5th place, are maybe starting to hold up the pack behind a little bit. But yeah, this is why I love watching, or this is why I like watching and racing the MX5, because it just provides so much close racing, and also there's always especially in BSR, there's always a battle happening as Hardy defends the.
Oh, he's very late, and he taps his teammate. He sends Barry onto the inside grass. I think Barry might have got away without a slow down penalty, but that was too close to call. His own teammate getting involved.
Yep, these guys have been watching These guys have been watching Red Bull Racing too much.
Oh! Yeah, they've obviously been on the old Netflix documentary, haven't they? in this one, or either that or they watched the Formula E. Either way, it's very, very tight battling. Obviously, you know what you're talking about as well. You're just telling me off the air that you finished in the top 3 in the UK nightclub last season in this car.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that, to be honest. But
that's second place under threat.
Yeah, Edward May's under attack from Mikey Key for 2nd place, and yeah,
great run by Key. Great run.
Absolutely fantastic run in the exit of the final corner as Key tries to go around the outside and he tries to do a cutback, but yeah, Edward May is wise to that.
It's hard the way a lot of these corners are, though, isn't it, mate? Because if you can't really do the traditional cutback, not unless you go very, very late into the corner and try and maybe go around the outside. I don't know, but a lot of the corners don't allow that traditional cutback because they're longer corners. And usually the car in front, even if they go a bit wide, they can get a bit of that momentum back into that hairpin at turn 11, and that's the one really where, Ryan, you've got to be right on his tail lights, because this is the longest straight on the circuit by some distance, and this is your only chance really to get a good slipstream.
Yeah, I would say if you get a good exit, if you're right behind someone and you get a good exit on the exit of that hairpin, you can get a good run on someone, but you've got to be right behind them to get a slipstream. But what these guys battling away for 2nd place has done, it's allowed Alex Rivette to just build up a little bit of a gap and just control the pace.
Passing move by Carl Hardy on Mick Barry. He's taken 4th place away from his teammate at Result Clothing. So Key up into the top 3. and then Hardy also into 4th.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a team
Oh.
decision. Something happened in the background possibly.
Yeah, I'd put money on that being is it Eagleston and Banks who were very, very close together.
Yeah, quite possibly. I was just thinking as well. I wonder if the Result Clothing guys have had a discussion on the Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever they're using, and kind of decided that maybe Carl Hardy's a quicker driver out of the two Result Clothing drivers, and Mick's just said, "I'll let you go, and I'll try and hold the pack up behind."
It is possible, and you can play that spoiler role here at Tsukuba because of the nature of the track, of course. If you do want to try and hold up the opposition, well, it can be done because there's only really, I think, a couple of good overtaking opportunities and one half overtaking opportunity, which is at the at turn 11. But then, well, turn 12 isn't really a good opportunity, but it's better than most. Now, through the left-hander at, I think it's turn 7, according to the officials. I'm not certain on that. It's a track, though, Ryan, that most people would have raced over the years on something like Gran Turismo. Finally come to iRacing, and great addition, especially for these low-powered cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I done an official race in the Advanced Mazda series last year, or last season rather, and I have to say it was my first time racing the track, and it was just so much fun. Especially if you nail this finer corner when you're behind someone, you can get a great run behind someone. I have to admit, I never raced this track on something like Gran Turismo, so it was on iRacing. It was my first time, and I have to say it's one of my favourite tracks in the MX5.
Yeah, terrific little track, and onto his final lap goes Alex Rivette, and he still leads by 1.3 seconds. Edward May has got some breathing room on Michael Key, though. And they're coming into the last 2 corners then. So Alex Rivette, there he is. Does have a good advantage. He's not in any danger. Just needs to keep it clean through this last corner. Turn 12 here at Tsukuba. And he's going to take the opening win. Well, he started on pole position, and he's going to finish there. Alex Rivette coming through, and he's going to take the win in round 1 of the day here at the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. And that was a good drive, Ryan. It really was.
I have to say that was a fantastic drive by Alex Rivette. He kept his head, he kept it cool, and managed to pull away and build up a bit of a gap. Then when other people were battling away behind him, and yeah, he built up a gap and managed to take the win, and a well-deserved victory and a good way to kick off his championship.
Yeah, 100%. Brilliant stuff. It was close behind. It was close between Barry and Jacqueline. Just 2/10 between them. Banks and Eagleston were very close together as well. And we're just waiting on John Moore to finish, and he has done now. So yeah, that's the end of race 1 done. There will be another qualifying session for race 2, so we will maybe be a little bit longer coming back for the next race, but do stick with us, and we will be bringing you both the second and the third races. And yeah, here's the results on the screen then. Alex Rivette taking the win off pole position by 3/4 of a second, just over Edward May. Mikey Key in 3rd, Carl Hardy 4th, 5th for Mick Barry, 6th for Carl Jacqueline, 7th for Jez Banks, and then 8th for James Eagleston. 9th is Craig Jones, and then Anthony Ainsworth in 10th, David Ayres in 11th, Graham Sessford 12th, Dan Blake 13th, Andy Maxwell 14th, Dale Benson 15th, Martin Sampson in 16th, and John Moore 17th, and Edward Raprager did not take the start.
Yep, that's race 1 in the books, and we're just going to head away for a few moments. But also, while you're waiting for race 2 to come up, don't forget the World GT Series is currently being broadcast by Apex Racing TV as well on the iRacing Esports Network. So yeah, if you're just waiting and need something to keep you occupied for a little while, just check that out, and don't forget to come back. We'll see you in a bit.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces, and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres, but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys work so hard to replicate. Things like curb geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iracing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car has areas exposed that were previously covered by bodywork. So they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off this side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches, that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car was coming, how hard the impact was against what. That will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing. Our role in the collision project is to tune the collision properties of each and every car to ensure that they behave and wrecks as a real car would. And we've spent quite a bit of time going through literature from the automotive industry on the subject to make sure that we have panels that deform the way they're supposed to, both temporarily and permanently, that pieces that don't deform but rather just break at appropriate times in appropriate ways. The cars are absorbing energy the way they should and aren't sort of bouncing off the walls in crazy ways. The major properties that we look at are stiffnesses, which is how much a piece of the car deforms when a load is applied to it. And then we look at a couple of limits. One is the force limit beyond which the piece deforms permanently. And then the second limit that we look at is the brake limit, the force limit beyond which the piece will simply break. And then we also will look at damping, which is how much the piece absorbs energy versus how much it takes like a spring and can absorb as potential energy and then rebound back out like a basketball would.
3, 2, 1, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys worked so hard to replicate. Things like curb geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iracing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car is kind of.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Apex Racing TV. You join us for the start of race 2, and yeah, here is the grid on screen. If you can take us through the grid with it.
Indeed, Jez Banks on pole, Carl Jacquelet second, then Mick Barry, then Carl Hardy. In 4th, Michael Keane, 5th, Edward May 6th, 7th, Alex Rivette, 8th, James Eaglestone, 9th, Craig Jones, 10th, Anthony Ainsworth, 11th for David Ayres, Graham Sessford is 12th, 13th is Dan Blake, 14th is Andy Maxwell, 15th is Dale Benson, 16th Martin Sampson, and John Moore is 17th, Ryan.
Yep, someone's just jumped the start and the lights out and away we go. Someone the grid. That was McBarry.
Barry did not get going. It's already down to 7th place. Poor start for him.
Oh, contact.
Outside. Oh, that is Edward May just running into the side of somebody, I think. Car going slowly near the rear of the field as well. And they're running wide. Car 17, Jez Banks, and Carl Jacquelet forced each other wide.
Yep, as Jez Banks is up into the lead and past Carl Jacquelet, and yeah, top 3 at the moment is top 3 at the moment is Jez Banks, Carl Jacquelet, and Carl Hardy is
not for long.
As Edward May tries to make a move up the inside of Carl Hardy, and he manages to make it stick.
Yeah, he's through. Edward May up into P3, up onto the podium. So Banks leads, then Jacquelet. Oh, crash! And it's 3 cars involved, 4 cars involved, 5 cars, 6 cars involved. They just couldn't get out of the way of it.
Yeah.
So that is Moore, Benison. 37 is that's 37 is Benison. I think Ainsworth, Key and Jones, I think they're the ones. Maybe Sampson as well.
Yeah, that was about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 cars caught up in that incident, and just looking
So
at
look
each
how
one.
it,
Yeah.
look how it started. We're looking at Craig Jones. Oh, it's somebody getting sideways actually there, and then trying to go for the middle was sorry, I don't recognise the cars, Ryan. I'm afraid. I don't know if you can help me
Yeah,
out.
so
It was
yeah.
72, was it? Who tried to go for the middle?
I
Is
was
that
like,
right? John Moore?
I think,
No, it wasn't John Moore.
Yeah, 72 is John Moore was one of the cars involved. Most of the cars
That
involved.
wasn't. It wasn't him who caused it though. Who was the one who went on the middle? With the yellow wheels. I can't. I couldn't tell you. I'm just looking. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the lifetime, and the cars involved was John Moore, David Dares, Mikey Key, and Craig Jones.
Poor line there by Banks. And here comes Jack Collette again, customary sideways out of turn 1 for him, and now he's on the outside line though. What can he do? Into left-hander.
Yep,
Banks this time with a much better line, although there's a tiny bit of a nudge. Jack Collette trying to come to the outside now. May is in third, and he's trying to get the advantage. Good cutback. He's going to try around the outside. Ryan, can he do it into the hairpin?
Yeah, if he can hold the line on the inside, he might.
Wide for Jack Collette. And May was trying so hard on the brakes, Ryan, nearly ran into the leader.
Yeah, I was just about to say, ran into the back of his teammate, but yeah, a good gutsy move by Edward May. He managed to hold the inside line and just managed to get it stopped and up into second place, but Cal Jacqueline is not letting him go that easy.
Here we go. Edward May then going for the lead for the second time. The inside this time. This time no resistance from Banks. Or is there?
Oh.
Well, I look like a fool there. He's just gone right back. It looked like he was clean through, but he just missed the apex by maybe a foot or two. Just allowed Jez Banks, to squeeze back through.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Bash! Jack Collette got shouldered onto the grass nearly there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bump, a bit of a hip and shoulder battle in there. As Cal Jacqueline tried to do a bit of a ballsy move, and Jez Banks just thought, "You're not coming through here, pal."
Don't they call this kind of thing a square go up in your end of the neck of the woods? I think that's what this. So it seems like this is. I think.
Yeah, I was about to say, in my best Scottish accent or Glasgow accent, square go.
Square go, laddie. And here's Barry, who's trying to recover from the poor start. He's ahead of the winner of the first race, Alex Rivette, and they're very close. And again going wide is Banks at turn 1, and that means that he's vulnerable to Jacques Collette this time. They're going to give each other space here. Looks like it. Banks all the way on the curb. That's the right thing to do. It's nicely cambered on the inside. Although they're going to get stuck together. And Jacques Collette's on the grass. Banks goes across to try and cover off Carl Hardy, who got a bit of a piece of the action himself.
Yeah, that was a bit of a. Yeah, Jez Banks just decided that Carl Jacqueline.
Jacques Collette into Carl Hardy, and now Barry's trying to go through. He's hit his teammate. Barry's on the grass. Carl Hardy continues. Unbelievable stuff. I'm not quite sure what is going on here, but one thing's for sure, Ryan, they're not in the places they were at the beginning of the lap. And now here comes Alex Rivette, who has got his way up into 4th place with all that.
Yeah, I have to say this is a bit of it. This is fantastic racing, but everyone seems to have lost their mind a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we've only actually lost 4 cars from the race, plus Martin Sampson, who didn't take the start, because they have turned back to the pits. They have got back going again. Oh no, Carl Hardy's all over the grass. And surely must have a slowdown penalty, you would say, for cutting the course, I imagine. Here comes Rivette up the inside, bang into him. And he's around his Carl Hardy. And Jacques Collette's past Rivette. And Rivette's going slowly. And he's very nearly getting... Mick Barry's very nearly getting onto him.
Yeah, everyone seems to... It seems to be...
And Hardy still... I think he's towed back to the pits, actually, as Carl Hardy. Potentially, Ryan, I think.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Everything's going on.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what happened to Carl Hardy. He went in the grass and he got spun out, and I don't think he got any major damage from what I could see. He just got spun round, but yeah, that was a bit I was a bit silly from some of these guys. I mean, it's still the early stages of a race, and there's no need to just there's no need to try and be like Ayrton Senna. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's it. In the words of Adam Bath, Senna told me to do that move right there. And here's Rivette, and in the words of Senna, I think a few of the drivers, in the words of Adam Bath, sorry, not Ayrton Senna, they were probably thinking, well, this is not going to go well. But Jacqueline through the fast right-hander, leading down to the hairpin. I reckon this track will be brilliant in this car. I've not driven it myself in this car, but I'm sure it'll be good. Oh, a bit of a nudge. It sounded a lot worse than what it was, I think.
Yeah, a bit of contact between the two year one racing teammates of Rivette and Carl Jacqueline and Alex Rivette. That yeah, it looks like at this point that Rivette is faster than Carl Jacqueline. So if I was Jacqueline, I would maybe try and let Rivette by.
I don't know, because if you can stay in front, it's a much better. He said, like I say, it's so tough to overtake here. He's going for the big long cutback, Ryan, and good traction out of the corner. He's got half a chance of doing it. Don't think he can now, though. Rivette is clear to third for the winner of race 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if Alex Rivette can pull away from Carl Jacqueline and possibly try and catch up to the two Fury Simsport cars.
What's happened?
Oh, someone's had issues. Oh, someone's blown an engine.
Who is that?
Let's
He's
have it.
blown the engine. Oh, John Moore! Up in smoke for him. 12th position he was in, and yeah, John Moore won't be going any further in that particular car. He will get a fast tow, I believe. I think he's already had one of those, actually, hasn't he? He was involved in the crash on lap 1 or 2. Dale Bennison's got damage as well. He's really struggling around this track. James Eagleston goes through into 10th place, so not exactly sure what's wrong with Bennison, but... Oh, Maxwell. What's happened to Maxwell?
Yeah, I was just about to say something's happened to Maxwell. I wonder if Maxwell's had a spin or just
Let's have a look at the lap time's. Not anything out of the ordinary. He said he was off the track for 1 second, so maybe that's all it was just a small excursion.
Is behind Maxwell is behind Maxwell is last season's champion is Dan Blake. So yeah, Dan Blake slowly making progress through the field.
Look what is happening behind these two as well. Two of the result clothing cars, 0.2 of a second away from each other. They were the lapped cars of Mikey Key and David Ayres, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at Mikey Key and David Ayres now, and I have to say, I'm not sure if it's me, but Mikey Key seems to have a different result clothing skin. It looks kind of I don't know why. It reminds me of the car out of the Batman film. What was it? Well, I can't remember what it was called.
What's that? Sorry, I sort of missed that last bit, the very last bit.
No, I was just saying I was looking at Mikey Key's car, and it looks like he's got a different result clothing skin from his teammates. But it kind of reminded me of that car from the old Batman films.
Well, the Batmobile.
Yeah, the Batmobile. That's it. I don't know why, but there we go.
Here's Dan Blake. Anyway, he's been to P7. He started from the pits. I guess he's just wanting to get some practice in, maybe some sort of race runs or something, because he's not really, even though I know he's capable of fighting at the front, I don't know what he he's just starting at the back. If he's doing his stream or something, potentially, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Dan Blake last season in this championship, he was one of the quickest drivers out there, and his results last season showed it, and he won the championship, which was well deserved. And yeah, I think he might just be taking the safe approach and just possibly just thinking of the points rather than trying to go for victories. Oh, and also he jumped the start as well, so he might.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he got a penalty.
Well, I thought he was starting from the pits again, but maybe he was just late to the grid. That would make sense. He jumped the start, and then Mick Barry just didn't start at all, virtually. But he's not really hurt him too much. He's still 5th, is Barry. There's been a pass actually. David Ayres has taken Mikey Key. That's his own teammate on there. He's just made the move. Let's have a look what's happened here. I assume Key goes off here, does he?
Yeah, just look at.
Oh, there's a
Got
nice
sideways.
half spin. And Ayres goes through and
Oh, that was close.
I guess they're having some fun on their Discord or TeamSpeak or wherever these guys hang out, because yeah, you got very, very close to him there.
Yeah, we're just looking back up at the front, our leader Edward May, he's managed to pull out a gap of round about 3.9 to about 4 seconds, and yeah, he's got a good gap to the likes of Jez Banks, Alex Rivette and Carl Jacqueline, and also Mick Barry as well. So yeah, he's managed to pounce and pull away while the other guys are scrapping behind.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised that Alex Rivette hasn't been able to make a move on Jez Banks, just for the fact of how fast he was in race 1. But I guess you have to be considerably faster here to make a move, really, and he's only a couple of tenths a lap faster. So we'll see, what did they do this time? Let's have a look at the lap times this time around. I assume they're going to be very similar because they were quite close together. 4 tenths difference on the previous lap. Now they're side by side, and Rivette goes defensive. Sorry, Banks goes defensive. Rivette tries the long cutback, but I don't know, he's going to have to get up pretty early in the morning if he wants to fool Jez Banks with that.
Absolutely, behind excuse me, as behind Jez Banks is the 2 Year 1 racing cars of Rivette and Jacqueline, and yeah, they.
Now, Banks should be okay here. He should be able to take his normal line into this hairpin, you would think. Rivette's in it. Oh, Banks is around.
Well, I have to say that was a bit of an optimistic move by Alex Rivette, and there was no way that he was ever going to pull that off, or no way there was a gap. So yeah, looking back at that incident, I think you can't really place the blame on Jez Banks, because he was entitled to the racing line because he was in front. So for me, unfortunately, I don't like to pin the blame, but in this case, the blame has to go down on Rivette for me.
I'd probably be inclined to agree, as now he goes into battle with Carl Jacqueline. Jacqueline in P2 now, but that doesn't help Jez Banks. I think the thought of that he's probably not really to blame for that one. He's down now in 5th place. Still a bit of time to recover, but only, well, that bit of time is only about 1.5 minutes. Rivette versus Jacqueline again then. Jacquelette's seen Rivette's move on the previous lap. Let's give him a bit of space. Rivette with a good exit though. Now, the slipstream is strong in this MX5, Ryan. Don't know if it's this strong. Oh, I don't know. He's catching, but it'd be a brave man who goes up the inside here into turn 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Rivette was really, he was close, but I don't think he was close enough to pull out and try and make a move. I think if he was right behind Jacqueline, he could have tried to get a great run in the exit of the final corner. As yeah, I believe we've just started the final lap.
Yeah, white flag is out. Edward May has only about 30 to 35 seconds to go before he takes the win in round 2 of the evening. Started in 6th place. He's had a really, really good run, as this is Banks versus Blake for P5, but we need to have a look now at the leader as Edward May coming through the second to last corner. Just a straight to go and turn 12. He's had a really, really good run. He set the fastest lap of the race. He's led ever since lap 1. And Edward May coming through then to take the win here in race 2, the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. Here he is, Ryan. He takes the win.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic drive from Edward May. He managed to get into the lead. He managed to pull away while the other guys were scrapping behind, build up a gap, and yep, he's managed to, again, like I said about Alex Rivette in race 1, kept the cool head, managed to pull away and just bring it home, and takes the win in race 2.
I don't know if we can see a replay, Sam, of the of Jacqueline and Rivette coming across the line, possibly, because that was very, very close indeed. At less than 0.2 of a second. I don't know if that is possible, but yeah, here we go then, Ryan. Take us through this because it's super close.
Yeah, just this is a battle between the two year one racing teammates, Jacqueline and who was it? Alex Rivette, I think it was. Yeah, two of them are just going into the final corner. One of Rivette tries to make a move and doesn't manage to pull it off, and Jacqueline manages to hold on to a podium position and finishes in what position was it? That was in the top 3 anyway. So yeah,
it was P2 for Jacqueline, P3 for Rivette.
Yep. So yeah, both cars on the podium, and Jacqueline manages to hold on. And yep. Yeah, I have to say, Woody, that was a bit of a chaotic race too.
It was. I did enjoy that one, though, I have to say. And yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun for me. Did enjoy it. Here we go. Then we're going to see the finishing order, and that's going to be up on the screen as somebody takes a dive into the concrete wall. Now, Edward May took the win though over Carl Jacqueline with Alex Rivette third, Mick Barry in fourth, fifth for Jez Banks. He'll be probably a bit annoyed with that, I would imagine, after his collision. Dan Blake in sixth, Graham Sessford seventh, Andy Maxwell then in eighth, ahead of James Eagleston in ninth, Anthony Ainsworth rounding out the top 10, Dale Bennison in 11th, Michael Key 12th, and then one lap down, David Ayres, Craig Jones and Carl Hardy. John Moore retired with that blown engine, and Martin Sampson, I believe he didn't take the start, Ryan.
Yep, I believe so. Just looking at the live time, and again, it looks like he didn't take the start, but yep, that's the results for race 2, and also we're just going to pop away for a commercial break, and we'll be back in a few moments' time. But yeah, don't forget as well to check us out on as I get up on my screen. Yeah, don't forget to follow us on social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Also, we are on Instagram, so don't forget to follow us there. Visit the website as well at apexwrestlingtv.com, and also subscribe to us on YouTube. So yeah, don't forget to rejoin us in a few months' time, and we look forward to seeing you then.
That were previously covered by bodywork, so they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off this side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car was coming, how hard the impact was against what. That will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard, or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing. Our role in the collision project is to tune the collision properties of each and every car to ensure that they behave in wrecks as a real car would. And we've spent quite a bit of time going through literature from the automotive industry on the subject to make sure that we have panels that deform the way they're supposed to, both temporarily and permanently, that pieces that don't deform but rather just break at appropriate times in appropriate ways. The cars are absorbing energy the way they should and aren't sort of bouncing off the walls in crazy ways. The major properties that we look at are stiffnesses, which is how much a piece of the car deforms when a load is applied to it. And then we look at a couple of limits. One is the force limit beyond which the piece deforms permanently. And then the second limit that we look at is the break limit, the force limit beyond which the piece will simply break. And then we also will look at damping, which is how much the piece absorbs energy versus how much it takes like a spring and can absorb as potential energy and then rebound back out like a basketball would.
coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new
Hello everyone and welcome back to Apex Racing TV. You join us for the final race of the evening here at Tsukuba. Yeah, my name is Ryan Walker and alongside me is Andrew Woodhouse, and doing the cameras is Samuel Kubo. And Woody, I think I have to say the first round of the evening has been pretty good.
Yeah, really fun indeed, and I hope it continues. David Ayres on pole, we'll be hoping the same. Mikey Key in second, then Dale Bennison, Anthony Ainsworth, James Eagleston. Here we go, Ryan. Ready for the start?
Yep, absolutely. Don't just wait for the lights to go. The lights have went out. That was a bit quick, but anyway, we're on the way for the final race of the evening. And yeah, it looks like Mikey Key gets a great start. Alongside him, his teammate David Ayres, but behind them is Dale Bennison from Year One Racing, and it looks like everyone's made it through turn one fairly clean.
Yeah, we've got a late evening session as well, so track is getting dark. Big dive up the inside by car 89. That was Anthony Ainsworth on James Eaglestone. Eaglestone back up the inside though and takes fourth place back. Well behaved so far, but that's famous last words, isn't it? As into turn 11 they come.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like everyone's made it through the first week. Oh, was it?
Maybe not.
Yeah, jinxed it. As Andy Maxwell gets tapped sideways into the hairpin, and everyone managed to avoid him.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that little bunch, isn't there? As it's headed by Mick Barry. Barry, then Jackalette, then Banks, resuming hostilities. Oh, Barry almost into the pit wall there. He's that close on the inside. Oh, coming across his 24, Ben Sharp, who wasn't in the first two races, I don't believe. Coming across, a bit ambitious, and ending up making contact.
Yeah, I think something like that was always bound to. Was Ben Sharp? Ben Sharp aggressively tries to get by Martin Sampson. That was a bit. I'm not sure what did they make of that, but that was a bit of a.
Bit rough and tumble.
That was a bit of a stay on a dive.
Yeah. You'll keep an eye on that. Back at the front, Michael Key leads, ahead of David Ayres. And then it's battle for a third between Eagleston and Bennison. Eagleston on the outside, sweeps across, goes into the podium places. So car 3 into P3. That's nice and easy for us to understand. Yeah,
I have to say that was a good move by Eagleston. He managed to hold it on the outside into the final corner and managed to.
Bennison very wide. He's lost a place to Ainsworth. Up into fourth for Ainsworth then, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. As the two Fury Subsport guys are going at it, Jez Banks and Edward May. Yeah, it looks like there's no team orders from that team at the moment as it stands. But I guess with it being the start of the season, I guess it's a little bit too early to implement team orders, I guess.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, mate. I think that's the thing. You want everybody to race. You want a bit of rough and tumble, I think. I've said rough and tumble twice now. I never really say that, but I've said it twice in the space of 45 seconds, I think. But yeah, you do want that argy-bargy. There we go. We'll find some more cliches for you as well as the race goes on, no doubt. Key from Ayres, then Eagleston, Ainsworth, Bennison is the top 5. Jackalette is in 6th, then it's Banks, May, Rivette, and Jones.
These two guys are still going at it, and yeah, I have to say sometimes it's always good to see teammates battling away with each other. I mean, at the start of a season, I guess it's kind of okay to go at it as long as you leave as long as you do stuff like leave each other room and don't try and run each other off the road or do anything silly. As my voice is just about completely broke.
That's fine. I can't fix it, sadly, but we can hopefully have a few laps where nothing major happens, and maybe you don't have to shout at the top of your voice. Who knows? We'll see. In before 10-car pileup, like in race 2. It's close at the front though. Behind Key is Ayres, and it's just 3/10 back to Eaglestone. So that's shaping up to be a close battle. Here's Edward May. Of course, race 2 was excellent for him. Looking to fight back through the field, but he's got tough competition in Jess Banks and Carl Jacquelet. Dan Blake sets the fastest lap, 102.0. It's one of the faster laps we've seen tonight. Of course, in the cooler conditions now, Ryan, we expect them to go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I was about to say, with it this being a nighttime race as well, the track temperatures will be will probably be much cooler than when they were in race 1 and race 2, and that's why we expect the lap times to tumble down, as you mentioned. As looking at the position at the moment, currently at the moment it's still Key, Ayres, Eaglestone, Ainsworth, Benison, and then Jacqueline, who we're on board with, Banks, May, and Rivette, and then Jones rounding out the top 10. So yeah, it seems to have settled down a little bit.
Yeah, Banks had a little look to the inside that time, but nothing major that would worry Carl Jacquelet. He's got a decent run though. He's thinking about it, isn't he? He's thinking about the late one, the inside. Doesn't quite do it as the gloom is ever more set in here at Tsukuba. MX5's lighting the way, and it's a good scrap again. It's these same drivers, isn't it, Ryan, that were fighting it out earlier on. There's a bit of a good battle between, it looked like Sharp and Jones, like somebody maybe got pushed onto the grass in the background.
Yeah, I was about to say, absolutely. There's always in this Monday series last season, it was always the same drivers battling away with each other, and they were always close together. And in return, it provided great close racing as well. So I think we could be in for more of the same this season. And I think as someone gets sideways and I accept the hairpin in the background, but yeah, last season it provided great close racing, and I think this season should be no exception.
Just 8 laps to decide round 3 then. The BSR MX5 Monday Cup. This is the battle for second place between James Eaglestone and David Ayres. And David Ayres having to defend hard here from Eaglestone, who goes around the outside. Find a decent amount of grip there, not enough to get up the inside though. Here comes Anthony Ainsworth.
Oh, that was a beautiful comeback. Cutback from Ainsworth, and managed to get it done at height.
Late one, he's missed the corner. He went for a big dive.
As Eaglestone manages to, Eaglestone manages.
Can he hold on?
Get the cutback and get.
It's Jez Banks. What has happened to him? Well, he was up inside the top 5, Jez Banks. Sorry, not the top 5. He wasn't, was he, at all? But it was Rivette into the back of Banks, and he was in P7. Sorry, Jez Banks. He's struggling to get this into the pits. He will get a fast repair and be able to finish the race, get some points.
Yeah, I was just watching the replay as well. It looks like Banks might have braked this slightly a little bit earlier than maybe Alex Rivette was expecting, and the Rivette just got caught out by maybe just a slight speed difference, possibly under braking. But yeah, that was unfortunate for Jez Banks, who's had a pretty good evening points wise.
Yeah, there you go. Here is car 37, Dale Benison, pursuing that podium position, and it's currently occupied by Anthony Ainsworth. Car 89, as we see him there. Oh, he's a bit wide through the final corner though, turn 12. Nowhere near the apex for Ainsworth. This is going to be a problem for him. Benison's got a good run, but even better run for Carl Jacquelet. He's up the inside, and also flying up the inside is Edward May.
Yeah,
Jacquelet and May working as a pair there almost, Ryan, to unsettle these drivers and make a couple of places up.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Oh, contact!
I was about to say that Edward May, he's managed to get by one of these cars, but he's stuck in a Year 1 racing sandwich. So yeah, he's got nowhere to hide or nowhere to go. But yeah, a bit of contact between one of the cars and the. But luckily managed to get away with it and still running.
They're still in the mix. Here comes Ainsworth then. Good slipstream. See more overtaking down this back straight in this race. And right round the outside goes Jacquelet. He keeps it, and here comes May. Surely he's not going to go for it there, because that is not going to work. Oh, and he's giving him a bit of a nudge for good measure. Maybe trying the old-fashioned bump and run.
Yeah, I was about to say it looked like it, but I think May. I don't think May was trying to make a move, but kind of just showing that he. Oh, contact!
Oh,
no, that was a bit of a bump. Oh, he's out.
Is he disqualified?
Yeah, I was about to say. I guess he's reached the limit.
Well, we were on board with him 1 second, and yeah, disqualified the next. Unfortunate there for Edward May. Alex Rivette is in 5th place. He doesn't look like he's... Oh, Benison! Benison's gone. I've just dropped everything off the desk. Benison's dropped it. I've dropped it. What's gone on there? I think he managed possibly to avoid the wall, Ryan. But
I just choked my Coca-Cola there when you said that.
Oh dear, other soft drinks are available. Here he goes. Spins the tyres up a little bit too much. Oh, he does well actually to catch that. He saw the danger and very calmly, I will say, applied the brakes. To be fair.
Yeah, I have to say that was a good recovery. He managed to get it going again, but yeah, I think we've got about 3 or 4 laps remaining. So yeah, currently at the moment it's still a result clothing 1-2 with Mikey Key and David Ayres.
Oh, Ainsworth and Rivette.
Yeah, it was teammate.
Oh, that was very nearly the end of both of them. Dear me.
Yeah, I know that I said teammates should be allowed to go at it with it being the start of the season, but don't try and run each other off the road, guys. Jesus.
I mean, we've only got 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I dread to think what was going on I would dread to think what was going on in their Discord channel as well. I guess a few words or a few curse words might have been said.
No, I think there might be a few more 4-letter words in a second because they're going to go to battle again, surely. Rivette's got a great run. I wonder if Ainsworth might have something that's compromising the straight line speed, because he does not have it in this battle. And once again, Rivette then. And there's a car on the grass. It's Craig Jones. Craig Jones is going slowly, Ryan, and I wonder if there was any contact between he and Dan Blake.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the replay now to see if, as you say, see if there's any contact. Dan Blake goes to yeah, that was a bit optimistic from Dan. That was a bit optimistic from Dan Blake. So
well, Blake licked the stamp, sent it, but the postman didn't arrive, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
On that one, he was probably eaten by a dog or something. On that one, because that's about as effective as that overtaking move was. So Dan Blake will try again. Oh, Key! What's happened to Key?
Yeah, oh, he's on the grass.
Michael Key was in the lead. What has happened to him?
Oh, someone's coming out the pits. No,
there goes the motor, and there goes the chances for Mikey Key.
Oh, I wonder when he was downshifting, if he's either downshifted too quickly or maybe shifted into the wrong gear.
Has to be. That's all it can be. Oh, in the Mazda MX5, Mikey Key. Leading the way.
I've done that a few times in the MX5 myself, so yeah, it's an easy thing to do, especially if you're using a shifter.
Tell you what, in iRacing as well, not only is it one of the worst sounds to hear, it's also one of the scariest sounds to hear. Absolutely need the change of underwear the first time I ever heard it. And yeah, it was it will have come as a big shock to him. Just 3 laps to go, Ryan. 3 laps. It's all that stood between him and winning the race.
Yeah, I have to say though, David Dares is he's out in front and he's managed to build up a bit of a gap to Cal Jackley, and if he just keeps on track for, I'm just looking to see how many laps are left. About one more lap to go, I think, or 1 lap after this one, I should say. He should be able to hold on for the victory, and I think it'll be a well-deserved victory. But Cal Jackley is trying to hunt him down.
Dear me. It's going to be a good fight to the finish, I think, here. Jacqueline on the previous lap was 0.4 of a second quicker than David Ayres. Don't think it's going to be quite enough, but it's one of those situations, Ryan, where it could put the pressure on.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like it's kind of the gap's not the gap's not coming down that quickly, but Jacqueline as Jacqueline was quicker that time again, quicker that time around again, and yeah, this is going to be an exciting last lap, but Cal Jacqueline is running out of time.
He's indeed. White flag then is flying, and Jacqueline has made massive inroads in Ayres here. See, Ryan, if he can do it, he's driving beautifully.
He's only got 1 chance to go, I think, or 1 chance left, which is this hairpin, but
He's got to be late on the brakes here, I think, and he's got to get best possible traction he can with a cutback.
But David Dares
Don't think it's... Oh, he did. Was there a slight twitch there, Ryan? I think there was, but it's going to take something monumental for Jacqueline. David Ayres is going to do really well to hold on here, as he just needs to be smooth through this final corner. Not make a mistake, as Ben Sharp's had a problem on the last lap, but here is David Ayres, and he's going to win it here for Result Clothing. Terrific race from Ayres. Jacqueline in second, and it was close for third between Ainsworth and Rivette. Yeah, well, that was a cracking race, good finish, and David Ayres will be pleased. Unfortunate for Mikey Key, really unfortunate to be fair, but well, yeah, really good job.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive from David Dares to take the win, but that was really unfortunate for Mikey Key. He was having a great race, and I think he could have won that race if it wasn't for his engine blowing up. But yeah, great result nevertheless for Result Clothing, with David Dares taking the win, and also a great result for Car Jacqueline finishing second. And I think that was a great way to round out the start of the season.
Yeah, terrific stuff by David Ayres. And this is the finishing order then. He wins from Carl Jacqueline in second place, with Anthony Ainsworth in third, Alex Rivette in P4, fifth for Ben Sharp, sixth for Dale Bennison, Martin Sampson in seventh, Carl Hardy eighth, ninth for Craig Jones, in 10th for Dan Blake, Andy Maxwell 11th, James Eagleston 12th, John Moore in 13th, 14th for Mick Barry, then Jez Banks 15th, Mikey Key 16th. It could have been much more for him. And Edward May we saw retiring earlier on with a disqualification, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say that battle between Ayres and Jacqueline in the closing in the last couple of laps was just absolutely fantastic, and yeah, that's a great result for the Result Clothing guys, and also I think hopefully we might get some people in for some interviews possibly. But yeah, a great way, as I said before, a great way to start the season, and play great racing in the race 1, 2, and 3, and I think that's a great taster or a great preview, Woody, for what's in store for this season.
Yeah, I think the season's going to be great. These drivers are going to be giving it everything every single week here on Apex Racing TV, no doubt. And we're going to be here every step of the way.
As I'm just having a look on Discord to see if anyone's on for an interview. I can't see anyone, but
not at the moment. Give them another 30 seconds to a minute or something if you want.
Yeah, why not? So yeah, it was great to have you back, Woody. It was great to commentate alongside you, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of the same more of the same as the season goes on. As you can tell, my throat is absolutely just not working anymore.
It's absolutely, no, it's absolutely a pleasure. We haven't worked together for quite some time, and yeah, I did enjoy that race. I thought it was the whole meeting was fun, really good action. It was pretty clean as well. I know there were only, I must admit I didn't expect it to be quite as clean as it was. So, yeah, pretty impressed. It doesn't look like any drivers are going to join us, so I think I'll save Ryan some of his voice, and I'll take us out of here. But as the sun descends here at Tsukuba, it's also time for us to leave. So from myself, Andrew Woodhouse, from Ryan Walker, and from Sam Kumo on the cameras, it's good night from Apex Racing TV and the BSR MX5 Monday Cup. Good night.